Over the last 75 years, the world has changed dramatically for people with disabilities. At the Cedar Foundation, we are proud to have been at the heart of those changes in Northern Ireland. We've come a long way since 1941. It was then that the first orthopaedic service in Northern Ireland was established at Queen's University, Belfast. Funded by the Nuffield Foundation, NICOD, the Northern Ireland Council for Orthopaedic Development, was formed, and our work began. Throughout the 1940s, a series of orthopaedic clinics were set up around Northern Ireland. But when these services were taken over by the NHS in the 1950s, it was time to take up a fresh challenge, supporting children with cerebral palsy. NICOD bought the building in Ulsterville Avenue, Belfast, that is still our headquarters, Malcolm Sinclair House, and set up a nursery there for children with cerebral palsy. The next step was to support the development of special schools, such as Fleming Fulton and Mitchell House, which children could attend after nursery. At a time when expectations for people with disabilities were still sadly limited, we piloted a work centre at Malcolm Sinclair House, a concept we developed further at the Balmoral and Ballymena training centres. Young people from outside Belfast attending the training centre needed a place to stay, so we transformed Malcolm Sinclair House into a hostel for those with physical disabilities. Over the years, specialist residential accommodation would become one of our most important services. When we began, it was accepted that people with profound disabilities lived in hospitals. That developed into hostels, where bedrooms and living space were shared. In the 1980s, we helped pioneer the concept of housing with care and individual bed sits in projects such as Ardkeen in South Belfast. In the same way, we challenged the idea of work centres as places simply to keep those with disabilities busy with activities by introducing vocational rehabilitation centres, where specialised training for open employment and community participation was undertaken. Meanwhile, we returned to our roots by introducing the CRISP service to support families of children with cerebral palsy. As the new millennium dawned, we entered into a new era. In 2000, we changed our name from NICOD to the Cedar Foundation and began a steady expansion of our services. Seeing the potential of technology to transform the lives of people with disabilities, we have worked with partners in housing associations, education, business and the public sector to develop a range of services to increase opportunities for social inclusion and independence while promoting the principle of equal citizenship. 2003 saw the first smart housing projects in Northern Ireland at Hillmount Court and Hillmount Close, followed by the redevelopment of Ardkeen in 2007 as apartment complexes that offered the benefits of assistive technology and greater personal control and helped integrate tenants into the community. Using computer and assistive technology, tenants could now control their environment, opening doors, switching on lights and heating, making appointments, and online shopping. In one of the most exciting developments we have yet undertaken, we are currently developing a new supported living project, harnessing better and improved smart technology at Meadowvale Court in Lisburn. Again, partnership is at the heart of this project as we work alongside Triangle Housing Association, Southeastern Health and Social Care Trust, and Supporting People. A wide range of children's services has grown out of our early commitment to the CRISP service. Today, we provide youth, home and community support and help find vocational opportunities for school leavers. Our InReach programme offers specialist support for children with complex healthcare needs. Working with people who have acquired brain injuries and strokes has become a specialist part of our service. We have established a regional floating support service with specialisms in both autism and brain injury. Our brain injury team helps rebuild the cognitive skills of those who have had brain injuries or strokes, easing them back to work, or exploring new avenues of employment through retraining. We have helped push back the boundaries in education too, where once people with disabilities were content to attend a work centre, they now expect to go to college. We developed transition support for children with disabilities and greatly expanded our work with children and young people, working in partnership with schools, health and social care professionals, and colleges of further and higher education. The use of new technology has greatly increased the opportunities available, enabling each participant to fulfil their potential. Over the last decade, we have rolled out our services across Northern Ireland, developing regional resource services where staff, volunteers and members of our user forum respond to local needs. But to fully exploit the potential for change, we have looked further afield. Innovation in areas like vocational rehabilitation and transitions has been supported by several European programmes, such as Horizon and Erasmus. We are proud that a succession of awards has endorsed our organisational effectiveness and the skills and competence of our staff and volunteers. As winners of the European Foundation for Quality Management and European Excellence Award, and as an Investor in People Gold and Champion organisation since 2007, we are recognised as one of the leading third sector organisations in Europe. Without our partners in social care, housing, education, business and technology, our work would not be possible. A key part of our strategy over the years has been to seek out and work alongside leaders in their fields, pooling our collective resources to drive innovation and change for the better. Over the years, we have grown from an organisation dedicated to a single condition to one that focuses on the needs of an individual, whatever their disability. The vision that drives our work is a society that is inclusive to all, where we can empower even those with the most complex of disabilities to lead full, independent lives. Today, advances like those in assistive and brain-computer interface technology offer new opportunities that could only have been dreamed of in the past. After 75 years of commitment to enhancing the lives of people with disabilities, we believe that with the guidance and support of the people who use our services and our partners, our vision of an inclusive society is more attainable than ever.
In 2002, I acquired a brain injury through a road traffic accident. I was knocked down. Although I had to learn how to walk and talk again, I didn't realise I was any different than I had been before. And it took me years to realise that I needed some help and support. So my neuropsychologist advised that I should apply for Cedar. And I eventually did and became a service user and just cried and cried and cried every time in Cedar and don't really remember too much about being a service user, to be honest. Then my key worker at the time advised me to apply for a clerical post within the user forum. Well, I didn't know what a user forum was, never mind clerical post. It's really just a fancy name for secretary. I am now regional facilitator because we have now 7 user forums all over Northern Ireland. We work closely with the executive committee. We meet up with them every quarter. We meet with the executive committee to share each user forum's experience and keep everyone up to date on how we're growing and how we're developing.
With the contract I'm under in Concentrics, there's quite a lot of information. You kind of have to be able to remember quite a lot and also be able to find to know how to find the right information in kind of a timely manner. Going into work, I was full of anxiety. I just hated going in. And I was just always worried about messing up and making mistakes. Through Cedar, I've been able to just have somebody like to meet up with regularly to talk about things with. I'm able to get some really good advice on so many different areas. They put me in contact with a memory coach who put in place. He was able to teach me kind of mind mapping techniques. My confidence is a lot better. I'm much happier going into work. I'm not stressed out. I'm not full of anxiety while I'm in there.
Cedar has a long history of working on European funded projects and working in partnership and collaboratively with partners across Europe, both in academia and technical partners. Cedar has worked on 3 projects: Brain, Back Home and Aid. All 3 projects are looking at emerging technologies to see how they can empower end users to live the life that they want and to live more independently. With the 3 European projects have focused on emerging technologies and specifically on brain-computer interfaces, or BCI. BCI enable the user to control a computer using solely their brainwaves. Within the AID project, this looks at using BCI in conjunction with lots of other technologies such as muscle, voice control and your eyes. This would enable a user to control exoskeletons, communicate and control their environments. This will be massive within Cedar's supported living, where they use smart technologies, but also in people's day-to-day living, being able to get employment, being able to interact in Cedar's training services, and also in terms of going back to school and further education.
Life, and they really help me my potential. I'm not more fun really on my own. The first thing was I left line. Going on now, I'm here. Within that from the honesty over the line in the main I realized of 105.
It's called the Right For You service, and it's helped me gain more confidence and be more outgoing. We check up courses that I could do or events that are going on that they do. I work in a charity shop on a Wednesday, and I've learned customer skills and how to deal with customers and take money. It's helped me gain more confidence and be more outgoing and independent. I've been able to talk more in group situations and be more active.
Cedar's brain injury services help me in taking an assessment of where I'm currently at and see where they can help me from there, and they help me set up work placements. Sort of ask me where I would like to work, and then contacting those places to see whether they would be up for taking me on for a period of time, help me acquire new skills in a variety of places. Brain injury services also helped me, they supported me in my education. I think at that point back then I was in Belfast Met, and then I moved on to Ulster University, and they helped me link up with student support there, who helped me greatly in my assessments. They gave me 25% extra time in exams. I was living with my brother, and then I decided to move out by myself. So then these referred me to Rachel in Filling Support to help me set up my tenancy, swap over all the addresses and maintain a good tenancy, and also there's more than that. They helped me to cook independently and get cleaning routines, supporting me in my tenancy. I have made huge progress over the last few years being a part of Cedar, and so I just hope to bring that forward and keep progressing myself, and with the ongoing support I will get from Cedar still. I'd love to, once I get my degree, just go into a career and get a stable job somewhere and just live a normal, fulfilling life as possible.
Unfortunately, whenever Charlie was 3 weeks old, he became ill. Septicemia and meningitis had left him with severe brain damage, cerebral palsy, epilepsy, severe sight loss, and a condition called microcephaly, where his wee brain wasn't growing the way it should. I think he'd had so much trauma. His brain had just slowed down, and I think he was just in survival mode. Emotionally and physically, it's really, really just draining. And much as we cherish everything that Charlie does, and he is an amazing wee person, there was times like really appreciated help. So our community nurse referred us to Cedar. I think she just knew that we needed a bit of help. So Cedar became involved, and we met Gemma, who was absolutely amazing. From the very first time she met Charlie, she was just so warm, affectionate. Charlie, with his sight loss and all his cerebral palsy and issues, he really has to have faith in somebody. You'll be quite cautious with people, and he needs to know that you will be his eyes. You'll keep him safe because he has such limited sight and he's no peripheral vision. So the Cedar InReach for him has just been fantastic. It's just opened up his wee world to someone else who's not family, who just comes and has fun and plays with him and takes him out and does nice wee things. And I think for his independence and confidence, it's really important, because he needs to have a bit of something in the world beyond just me or just family. So I think it's just so special to us, and knowing that she's coming and knowing how important she is to him is just fantastic for him as a wee person.
I suffered a traumatic brain injury in 2002, and I was in the Royal Victoria Hospital in Belfast, and a consultant at the time suggested to my mother that I use the services of Cedar Foundation. So a member of staff from the Cedar Foundation called out to our home house and basically told us the programs that they would be used to get my life back on track. Number one, I had to rebuild my stamina, because my body was badly shook. And then the second one would have been my confidence skills, get them back on track. And then the third was probably cognitive, my memory, because my memory wasn't great, my short-term memory. So I sort of thought, right, if I'm going to have this support, I'm going to get back to where I was, and nobody's going to stop me, because I had the confidence that to know that Amanda or anybody else in the Cedar Foundation was only a phone call away, and the support was going to be there for me. So that's when I made the decision to go back up to college. Following my degree, I worked as a building surveyor for 5 years in full-time employment in Belfast, and then since then I moved home to work as an AutoCAD designer for a kitchen manufacturing company in County Monaghan. It's a really enjoyable job, and I use a lot of my cognitive skills, my memory skills that I would have trained in with Cedar Foundation. I feel that I can't repay Cedar enough for what they've done to me, so I try to do my wee bit and do some fundraising for them. And we've recently actually held a traditional music night in my hometown of Roslay, and it was actually a good success. We've had 2 of them now, so we'll probably do another 1 or 2 in the near future.
One of the great examples in terms of looking to the future is the specialist supported living project that we're developing on the outskirts of Lisburn in partnership with the South Eastern Health and Social Care Trust, Triangle Housing Association, and Supporting People. It's a remarkable development of 13 specialist apartments whereby people with disabilities can live very independent lives with the benefits of smart technology. That enables them to control their environment in a way that really enhances opportunities for social inclusion, gives them the level of independence which they so rightly deserve. But most importantly, it's about really enable people to achieve their full potential. And that's all done on the basis of partnership. It's about working together to bring together the collective resources of all the different partners for the benefit of each individual. So it's an exciting development. We're looking forward to it, and it certainly will map out the way forward in terms of both partnership and the use of technology to promote social inclusion for people with disabilities.
Cedar. Opportunity, choice, inclusion.